Let's go to Johannesburg now. Mineral Resources and Energy Minister Gwede Mantashe is addressing the National Energy Dialogue. He says one of the focus areas is security of energy supply while transitioning from high carbon to low carbon emissions.
And that to put their case that it is not as easy as it is in Germany. Actual Germany, when they have base load problems, they have a beautiful neighbor who generates 75% of their energy from nuclear, called France. We don't have a France next door to us here. We don't have it. We have Namibia, we have Botswana, we have Zimbabwe, we have Mozambique. Those are our neighbors. We have Lesotho in the belly of our country. We have Swaziland. All of those are our neighbors. They are not an equivalent of France. If we're running into trouble, the whole of the region is going to run into trouble. So it's not us. It's not about us, it's about the region. We're the heartbeat when it comes to energy of the region. Now, there are initiatives in green hydrogen, battery storage involving DMRE and other government departments. We must explore, prospect and manufacture our mineral resources to be global competitive and the supplier of these new markets. South Africa is the host of the world's largest resources that will play a leading role in the new markets. We brought the big team here so that when they must give you technical answers, they will be available to give you technical answers. That's why we brought them here. They must give you technical answers. But those renewables are going to be heavily dependent on what we call minerals of the future. Minerals of the future to sustain the very greening of the economy. That greening of the economy heavily dependent on minerals of the future, which are in mining. And our duty is to protect them, develop them. I don't know if you have noticed that the ISMO bill, which was passed in 2013, Shell, because there was no market, is being revived, so that we establish a transmission company that stands alone, which is a market and a wheel of energy, from the generator to the consumer. That bill is before Parliament now. It has gone through Cabinet, it is going to Parliament, because we don't want to be stagnant. Another issue is the development of upstream petroleum. We intend to establish and develop upstream petroleum industry. We've been taken to court 3 times, and many more, that we must not even test if we have caught oil and gas deposits in our oceans. ENI in Durban was harassed 47 times, and they came to us and said, listen, we can't follow this for 3, 4, 5 year legal course of yours. We're moving away. They left us. So they will tell us when we are ready. They went to Cote d'Ivoire, made huge discoveries as well. Shell was harassed now, in the same thing. Left, back, left. Made 2 discoveries now. They made a discovery. They've made another discovery in Namibia next door. And to me, all those are indications that we do have oil and gas deposits. And I'm sure the total energy discovery in southern Andalusia is evidence that we do have them, but we can't touch them because we are an island of angels. Can't touch them. Everybody else must explore coal, gas, must explore oil. When there is a fight between EU on Ukraine and Russia, price of oil goes through the roof, price of coal goes through the roof, meaning that these fossil fuels are going to be part of our development for many years to come. Now, the financing of the just transition, I think we must think broader than just the 131 billion rand when we talk of that financing, because, you know, I was talking to one of the people who are involved in that. I said to them, you want to give us 131 billion rand to finance our fast movement out of coal. In 2021, coal turnover was 130 billion rand. It means the money you are offering is made by coal in 1 year. In 1 year. Coal makes that money, but you say you are giving us 131 billion rand as a favor to move out of coal. Coal generates a turnover of 130 billion rand in 1 year. So I'm leaving that. Let me conclude by saying that we are very committed to implementing the just transition. We are open for the discussion. We are open to criticism. We are open to logical discussion. You know, in Parliament we have an opposition party called the DA. They all run on our case when it comes to energy. They run on us. And I told them that, you see, Butler told you that guys go to this debate open-minded. There is a method in the madness of Minister Mantashe. And he was advising the DA. Number two, Chris Hart told them that if we just walk away from coal, we will be in a disaster in all respects, price of energy and other issues. John Ken Bremer has told them that, listen, you are wrong, listen to the argument of that minister. So I'm showing it to you that I'm not always wrong. I'm sometimes right, but the balance that I'm trying to work out on is to work on the balance of listening to the views of the others, balance them out, suppress ego, suppress arrogance, but not be pliable to illogical discussion. I'm not accepting that. If you come to me and argue something that is not sustainable, I can take it. But if you come with an argument that is sustainable, that is making sense, you will be surprised to see that I listen to it. Last week I went to the Congress of the Renewable Energy in Cape Town. And I said, this is a big change. I said, no, it's not a big change. Last year I was in a conference of wind in Daba. I was there because I am a minister of energy, not a minister of a technology. So people don't understand this. They think that I must choose between these technologies. I'm a minister of all these technologies. I must embrace them, I must support them. I'm also a minister of mining. Coal is a mining project. It's doing well. Prices are good, they make money. And I say to them, exploit these opportunities now. We must just talk to Transnet to facilitate the movement of coal to the port. That's it. Thank you.
Minister, could we ask you to remain seated with us here on the podium just for a while? We're going to have a Q&A session.
Please take a seat.
Did I not sit here?
No. I want to be sandwiched between us.
I'll ask you a first question and then we'll open it to the floor. We're just going to have this session for about 15 minutes. And I think what comes out of your speech, thank you very much for that, sir, is your frustration about the massive potential that there is, offshore in terms of our oil and gas.
The Minister of Energy there, Gwede Mantashe, speaking at the National Energy Dialogue, saying that the country is committed to a just transition to a low-carbon economy, but we need to find a balance. Those were the key words towards the end there. Still